Good afternoon, dear beloveds. This is White Wolf. I'm going to start off by enacting protocols. Call upon the lilac fire dragon, earth and water dragon, earth fire dragon, quiet pink dragon, golden orange dragon, seagull, my two black dragons, black dragon from Saturn, alpha dragon, archangel Michael, Gabriel, Sandalphon, Raphael, Mother Mary, Saint Germain, the Galactic Federation of Light, grandfather, big chief, grandmother, and the tribal women are also in attendance. The Intergalactic Council. And so it is. Well, I'm just here to let you know that this is about to be a very, very serious message. This is going to be a very grown up message. This is going to be a message about some of you that claim that you are masters, that claim that you have a seat at the round table, but you're really just sitting on the sidelines and you're perpetuating more and more how you are still the lower self instead of the higher self, instead of becoming source in human form. And I'm going to share out to all of the groups. So please, as I'm sharing out, please share out for me and just let me know if the feed cuts out. I don't want it to cut out. So, without further ado, this is going to be a very serious message. So if you're here for rainbows and butterflies and unicorns and mermaids, I'm sorry you've came to the wrong place, because it's time for us to step up our game. Because when you are chosen, when you are being called to higher service, you better do what God tells you to do. You better do what you were sent here to do, what you were called to do, what you were meant to do as a soul, becoming more and more of the oracle of love, light, and wisdom. And we are oracles. We are oracles, dear beloveds. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for the weak. This is for the people who have lions' hearts. So this is going to be a very serious message. And the motorcycle was a confirmation, but let me share out. And as I'm done sharing out to all the groups, we'll get on with the show. And we're going to be talking about a lot of judgment. I've had a lot of judgment. A lot of light workers are casting judgment on each other. A lot of people are attacking other people, including myself and MorningStar, and they don't realize that they're doing it. It's because they don't even realize that they're being controlled by other entities. They don't realize that they're doing it, but you guys are doing it and you know what you're doing. And we got other people criticizing each other for giving our heart, for giving our soul, for giving the tenacity and the authenticity of the one infinite source of creation, which is the oracle of love, light, and wisdom, which is the oracle of grace. God in human form. I don't know what the hell that is in the background, but that's confirmation. But we also got to understand that some of you have all these plaques on your wall. Some of you have all of this mastery on your wall. But when you get on a camera, you're afraid to give the love and the light of the Creator. You're afraid to put yourself out there. You're afraid to be rebuked. You are afraid to be shunned. You're afraid to be called out on your shit. You're afraid that someone might not like you. Well, I'm here to tell you, I've been called to disgrace by my own family. I have been rebuked. I have been criticized. I have been challenged by people who have loved me, and they forgave me for it. But some of you, and it doesn't matter about the hairless monkeys in the 3D that are just online criticizing you. I'm really talking about the people. We are meant to work together. We are meant to work together to work this out, to go further along our journey as a soul, becoming more and more of our individuated self as individuated gods, prepping ourselves for the new golden age, being a guiding light for the golden age, for the new energy of the future, for the ascension of planet Earth. But some of you are just sitting on the sidelines. Some of you have these plaques. Some of you say what you do, but you're not giving me your heart. You're not giving me your spirit. You're not showing the light of the Creator, the light that illuminates the universe, that illuminates everything, that comprehends every single thing. And we got light workers attacking other light workers. And we got people who are in the dark trying to attack us. And we're on the winning side. But what you have to understand that if you put a label on yourself, you are perpetuating more and more how you are more of the lower self instead of the higher self. You are still coming from a low vibration when you put a label on yourself, when you call yourself a Reiki master, when you call yourself a pranic healing master, when you call yourself a master in general. You are perpetuating more and more of how you are something that you are not. You are perpetuating more and more of how you are better than somebody. You are perpetuating more and more how you are just not the source of all things, that you are just not God in human form, and that you have something over somebody. That you feel so entitled that you have something over some individual. I'm sorry, I have not found grace yet with that attitude. I've actually faced myself in that aspect. We all have an ego. We all are afraid to come out of the cocoon. And I'm not talking about your inner work. I ain't talking about your inner work. I'm talking about you stepping out, laying everything on the table, saying what is most authentic, what is most needed for that specific time and setting, and just saying it and not caring where it lands and not caring whose feelings you hurt and not caring about how someone took it through their own filter. And what this really is somebody's filter. Some of you have filters and you're filtering the message through your own little pissy filter. And you're taking out of context and you're saying that you are not the light to other people. And I will just let you guys know that one of my good friends inspired me again. We need more radicals. We need more rebels. We need more people to step outside of the box and stand out. That is the light. Because when we all shine together, we don't stand out. But some of you are too afraid to work together. And I'm not saying collaborating, I'm talking about the collective as a whole. You think you're too good for Source? You think you're too good for your higher self? You think you're better than somebody because you have 1,000 people who follow your page? But are you burning with passion? Are you burning with desire? Are you burning with a yearning to help heal the collective itself? Don't tell me you're a Reiki master. Don't tell me this label that you're perpetuating more of your ego and pasting it on a picture of enlightenment when it is a figment of your imagination, when it is not enlightenment itself. It's just you perpetuating more and more of how you are more secure within your lower vibratory state when you are giving your power away to the lower self. Because there's only one of you that is calling the shots. There is only one of you who is calling the shots, and that is your higher self. And once you go against your higher self, once you do something that God told you to do and you stopped doing it, or you didn't do it in the first place, that's why we have reflections. That's why we have the revolving door. That's why we never grow. That's why we never prosper. That's why we never upgrade. That's why some of you are staying at a certain point and you want to upgrade, you want to have power, you want to have grace. And this has nothing to do with even inner work, but this really means some of you are just afraid to be radical. You're afraid to be authentic. You're afraid to say the truth and speak it into existence. You're afraid. We're all afraid. We're all afraid together. We're all doing what we need to do when we need to do it. We're all going at our own pace. But some of you are putting this label and thinking that you're entitled, which is ego, and you feel that you can be judgmental in some sort of way and that you're entitled to be judgmental to others and put them down and make them feel small. Well, I'm here to tell you, when you get on the other side of that, you will find change. You will find grace within yourself. But some people will stay at that low vibratory state and they feel like, oh, I've grown so much. I know so much. I'm better than you. I'm sorry, but that's not grace. That's not wisdom. That's not trust. That is not faith in the Creator. You have to become the change. You have to want it. You have to desire it. You have to own it. You have to own up to the way that you've acted in your entire life. But there's a lot of egotism in the spiritual community. There's a lot of entitlement in the spiritual community. There's a lot of people who are afraid to step out. They're afraid to step out of their box. Not doing your inner work is one thing, but when you say that you're this masterful person and you're afraid to not be liked, hate to tell you, but that's yucky. It's disgusting that people are too afraid to be rebels. We need rebels. Jesus was a rebel. He married a prostitute. He was in the boat. He was rocking in the boat, and he had no fear. Jesus was an absolute rebel, and Jesus is a pure reflection of what every light worker should emulate themselves by. Jesus' story, his prophetic story. And some of you want more, but you're not doing anything about it. Some of you want to upgrade even more, but you're not doing anything about it. You're not following your highest excitement. You're thinking that you're going to say these affirmations. Master Co said this the other night. You think you're going to say these affirmations and say these things and wait for it to happen. Well, I'm sorry. The spiritual journey fell into my lap because I asked for it. Because I asked, I believed, and I received. I laid in my bed one night and I asked for it. I asked for change. I wanted it. I desired it. And I didn't know what that really entailed, but it came to me because I was chosen. And when you are chosen, you are fast tracked. When you are chosen, you are directed from a higher source of energy. And when you are chosen, and I made a live feed about this the other night, but it's relevant right here. When you are chosen, it's harder. When you are in a high command, when you are being the drill sergeant of the 144,000 out there, and you know one day you're going to have to be the hero. And sometimes the hero looks like the villain. Sometimes Jesus was rebuked by his own people. They wanted to kill him. There's going to be people that want you to die. There's going to be people that are going to call you disgrace. There are going to be people that send you death threats. There are going to be people that just don't like you flat out. But we have to put our ego aside. We have to put our labels aside. We have to put our judgment aside. And we have to obtain something that I call grace. We have to attain something that I call grace. And grace is forgiveness. And grace is loving your enemies. And grace is not attacking brothers and sisters. And some of you don't know that you're doing it, and I understand that. But some of you need to let go of attachments. Some of you need to let go of what is not serving you. And that's the issue why you can't level up. And I'm serious right now. I am very serious. This is a very serious message. If you don't want to watch this, fine. But I have been on this spiritual journey for almost 2 years now. And I've grown a lot. I've seen a lot of life. I had someone help me through it all. Thomas Sawyer, MorningStar, myself are radicals. We are not like others. Some people don't like us. Some people don't resonate with us. Some people, I've had friends, family, other people online light workers slander me and her. And you know what I say to that? It's more fire that gets me lit with spirit. It is a fire that is lit under me to propel me to do it more. And some of you want to upgrade. Some of you can't get past your ego. You can't let it go. You think that you've almost completed your life's journey and you've actively put a ceiling on yourself. And once you put a ceiling on yourself, you gave your power away to the lower self. And you just resonated from fourth density when you need to start resonating from sixth density level of consciousness. But we have to be leaders. We have to put our feelings aside. We have to put our judgment aside. And we have to put authenticity on the table. And a lot of people in the spiritual community are not willing to be authentic. They just want to read their tarot cards. They just want to burn their incense and act like a hippie. That's all well and good. But you need to step out of your shell. You need to step from the sidelines. We need rebels. We need a rebellion. We need a lot of radicalism in the spiritual community. And I'm sorry, I'm not very well versed on the Bible, but most of the stuff in the Bible was light and dark. We all come from the dark to find the light. All of us do. We all do. We're all living a prophecy. We all have a story. And I know some of you, maybe your destiny is just to have, burn incense and hang out and meditate. But there's some of you that is not just your destiny. You have something more on the horizon. You have something more coming to you. Some of you are going to be like Tony Robbins, and we're having trouble playing the feed.